Heated rivalry got me weirdly obsessed with winter sports, and since the Milan 2026 Olympics start tonight, I'm about to do what I think most people do when they watch the Olympics, which is sit on my couch and judge elite athletes as someone who can barely do a push up. But these athletes train so hard, they make their sports look easy, which is insanely impressive and also gives me an incredible amount of unearned confidence about my own abilities. So today I'm looking at which Olympic winter sports I think I could do and which ones would kill me immediately, starting with snow and ski sports. So let's begin with the only one I have even a shred of real life experience in, which is snowboarding. I actually did a competitive lesson program as well as a few competitions for snowboarding when I was younger. I did one half-pipe competition and I did terribly. Like, I genuinely don't think my snowboard left the half-pipe. I basically just rode back and forth across it. It was still fun though. But I also did a couple of border cross races, and I'm pretty sure I technically qualified for the US Junior Nationals competition. And when I say qualified, I mean I never made it past the qualifiers in the local competitions, except for one single race where somebody fell, which freed up a spot. So I moved on to the finals despite being in last place otherwise. And apparently, because competitive snowboarding is kind of a small world, I think that was enough for me to qualify for nationals. And no, I did not go, for obvious reasons. But honestly, if I could ignore my fear of going way too fast and breaking every bone in my body, I could actually hold my own in this one. At least for the border cross and the slalom, I don't think I trust myself enough to land the jumps, so halfpipe and freestyle are not going to end as well. In a similar vein, I think alpine skiing is a relatively safe option for me as well. Although I've mainly snowboarded in the past, I have been on skis a few times in my life, and I think I could make it down the mountain relatively easily and in one piece. I feel a lot more confident with the go downhill and turn part than I do with any of the ski events that involve jumps, since having to line up two skis to land anything feels borderline impossible, especially coming from a snowboard. I would also be worried about accidentally having one ski on each side of the pole in slalom, but I think that would probably be a mistake that I only made once. So alpine skiing is definitely one of my stronger options. Freestyle skiing, on the other hand, gets a lot more risky because sure, I can stay upright going down a hill on skis most of the time, but my balance otherwise isn't great, and neither is my spatial awareness. I can already picture myself having one ski slip off the rail and then tumbling off after it, or only half turning during a jump and landing in a pile on the ground. So yeah, freestyle skiing is definitely not for me. Although freestyle skiing is a guaranteed disaster for me, I actually think ski jumping could go either way. And of course, that is completely dependent on whether I land on my feet or my head. The thing is, compared to freestyle, the landing actually looks kind of straightforward. Because even though you're doing a massive jump, your path is laid out for you and you're not doing tricks in the air. You just need to keep going forward, which honestly removes a lot of my fear about landing. I do remain a little worried about how much it would hurt to land from a jump that high, even correctly. Though to be fair, one wrong landing and I'm retired from athletics forever. Which brings us to Nordic combined, aka ski jumping, but for some godforsaken reason, they make you do cross-country skiing afterwards. Assuming I land the jump portion correctly, which, to be fair, is a very big assumption, I do think I could physically complete the course. But since I have the speed of a turtle and the stamina of an iPhone on 2%, you might be waiting hours, if not days, before I cross the finish line. So I think it would go better than freestyle skiing, but definitely worse than ski jumping. And also, I would hate every single minute of it. From Nordic combined, it only gets worse as we move into cross-country skiing. I think I've done it maybe once or twice in my life, and not only did it suck, but I also sucked at it. One of my favorite parts about snowboarding as a kid was that gravity and ski lifts did a whole lot of the work for me, so although I was technically doing a sport, it really didn't feel like it. And with cross-country skiing, all of that goes away, along with most of my coordination as well. I genuinely think I would do better walking the ski track than skiing it. Strapping skis on my feet and going downhill, a little unsteady, but fine. Strapping skis on my feet and asking me to move across a flat path, suddenly I look like a dog that's just tried on boots for the first time. Again, I do think I could complete the course, but I'd be so far behind the other competitors, you might not see me finish until the 2030 Olympics. And next, for the only snow and ski sport I genuinely think I wouldn't be able to even finish the course for, no matter how much time you gave me, we have biathlon. We're already starting off on the wrong foot, or wrong cross-country ski, by having to run through the snow with skis attached to my feet. But this becomes genuinely impossible once you add the shooting range aspect to it. Not only do I have bad aim in general, but I also have a lot of anxiety and incredibly shaky hands. So in a stressful situation like competing in the Olympics, I'd be shaking like a leaf and possibly pooping myself from anxiety. It'd actually be a miracle for me to hit one target, much less all the ones you'd actually need to complete the event. Lastly, the snow and ski sport that I had truly never heard of until 5 minutes ago, which it turns out is because it's completely new to the Olympics this year, ski mountaineering. The Milan Olympics website has short explainer videos for each sport where I learned that there are 3 different parts to ski mountaineering. To start, you climb up the slope using skins on your skis, which function like sticky pads that prevent you from sliding backwards down the hill. That alone doesn't sound great, because why would I want to spend forever climbing a mountain only to ski back down in like 3 seconds, especially when ski lifts were invented to solve this very issue. But it does in fact get worse. For the second part of the race, once the hill gets steeper, you hike with your skis on your back. So not only do you have to stress about doing a mid-mountain costume change at record speed, you also then have to do an even worse climb while carrying your skis. Finally, it does get better at the end, because once you hit the top, you get to race back down, which, to be honest, sounds like the only fun part of this entire activity. I would probably set a record for how slow I did the course, but I could probably finish the course once, maybe by the closing ceremony. But seriously, I'm genuinely so excited to watch the Olympics this year, and good luck to all of the athletes. You're all ridiculously talented. If you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching, and I'd love to have you join me next week for part 2, where I'll be going over the ice sports.